as there is the Corki ban coming through here.
Yeah. I've always had this opinion about banning against T1, but I don't think you can ever really ban out Faker. And I feel like generally bans should be used elsewhere. I think his Orianna is fine. The Corki, yes, he had a good game on it. But is it really...
Já baniram o Corki, tem que banir o Corki do Faker.
I'm not 100% sure.
Ah, ele aparece Global Ban, Azir.
Power picks in the meta right now.
O Azir tá fora do meta e é um esculacho, mano.
So Ashe was actually the one I was going to mention first. Kalista still open as well. Lucian, even though we don't like it, we know teams still very highly prioritize it.
Gostei dos bans da DK, tá? Bem adultos. 2 mids que o Fakerson é muito bom. Já tem o terceiro ban, que é o Azir, que é global. Ashe do Quer, que não dá pra jogar. Gostei.
Sejuani is going to get taken away here. So Aatrox, Kalista, Rel would be the picks that I mainly...
Maokai.
Yeah, Maokai that I mainly look towards.
Sorry.
Kalista is the standout for me though. You can obviously respond to it with things like the Arma and the Poppy. This is what DK have been going for though.
Yeah, that says Hosu, it's his Showmaker's name, and it says Mantra Q.
Yeah.
He has been playing a lot of Karma, so it's his most played now, at 9.
Arma do Showmaker. Legal.
And it's strong. It's good. It's reliable. You get mid lane control very often. There's the first pick, Aatrox. Not on the blue side, though, Chronicler.
Galera, lembrando pra rapaziada, porque o Azir está com Global Ban. O Azir tem um bug que quando ele dá WEQ, tipo, que é o combo dele, que ele vai, né, o Drift, ele meio que dá uma lagada e fica invisível. Aconteceu com o Gravitar, teve Chrono Break e tal. Então, já que ele está com esse bug, até consertarem, ele está desabilitado. Ele teletransporta ou é só bug visual? É bug visual, só que ninguém consegue ver. Então não consegue ver quando ele vai vir dar o drift, né? Quando ele vem dar o insec.
Alan is definitely a Milio type of guy. I really like Milio Smolder personally. I do very much worry about the laning phase, and right now this comp has no engage. So if you don't end up locking down Rel, I think you're really going to struggle in that regard unless Kingen picks up his Ornn, which, just for the record, to do matchup in the Aatrox, but I would love
O Takeshi vai arrumar logo? Vai.
For many a time, one of our best Ornn players.
Nossa, Dragão e Milho, mano. Alguém já viu o Dragão e Milho? Eu nunca vi. Nossa, eles vão ser amassados nessa bot lane, mano, pro Mayush pelo Keria. Tá doido, filho.
His future is not certain when it comes to the nerfs that are coming for him eventually. But right now, he is still a very, very scary baby dragon. But DK making the read that if we can get to mid to late against this team, we got a shot. T1, yeah, they struggled in the early game against Gen G. Right now, they are getting so much comfort. Lucianami, which are really strong early game power picks. And we'll see how DK is able to round out the competition. Maybe they just say we don't need any range or engage. Or we don't need engage because we have the range of Smolder with a W of Milio added on the top of it. Is Cassandra?
Tiraram Hell Jungle.
Yeah.
Pior que aqui são as duas melhores Hells da Coreia. O Lucid, que é muito bom de Hell, e o Honor também, que é muito bom de Hell. Da Coreia igual do mundo? Ah, é que é difícil falar do mundo, né? Mas sim. Canyon joga vôlei? É, tem o Canyon também. O Canyon tá jogando muito de Hell, mano. Mas ainda acho o Honor melhor de Hell, mano. O Honor é bizarro de Hell, mano. O que ele fez no Mundial tá doido, mano. O que ele fez contra a JDG de Hell, bizarro, mano. Bizarro. Thalia sem setup. Ixi, não gosto, não. Dudinho não gosta de Thalia sem setup pro W. Não gosto.
That DK have been playing extremely heavy. Okay, there we go.
We see a lot of it because generally Maokai's banned.
Yeah, I was also
Nami não é setup pra Thalia? É. Ela tá com a bolha, né? Aí quando ela acerta, a Thalia dá o W.
Maokai, né? Jace, I wonder if that could be a consideration here. Renekton, it's foolproof. It's a good matchup into specifically Aatrox. We've seen it pull out more and more. Does great in the 1v1.
Quer já errou a bolha?
I would.
Pior que se depender do Quer, esse pai é possível mesmo que seja setup, mano. Por enquanto eu gostei bastante. É que, assim, tirando os nicks, eu gostei bastante da comp da KDF, não, da DK, tá? O problema é que é contra T1, né? Gostei.
Certainly can be one of those picks that you throw up a shield and Maokai can't necessarily stop you from doing it. The only issue with it is that it feels like the one champ that's going to be going really hard in the paint unless the Aatrox gets some big flanks. And it's not necessarily like a team fight engaged champ. It's like I'm going to go in by myself. It's not a rel that kind of sets up the fight for the damage dealers to do their work.
Eu só não gostei da Thalia sem setup, mano. Isso aí é meio ruim, cara. Nossa, acho muito ruim isso, velho. E acho que a Thalia nem tem tanto valor aqui, mano. Não tem tanto boneco de dash. O único que dá dash é o Renekton. Não gostei do dash da T1 não, velho. Mas eles são melhores, né? Vão ganhar? Provável.
Really, Nocturne to me feels like, obviously you can make some semi-global plays with the Talia as well, but it just feels like I press my paranoia and then Zeus flanks. But if DK is able to use the kiteback power of this composition to stay away from that, I think the short-range comp for T1 can really struggle if they don't take control of the early game, which, to be fair, I do expect that they will find.
Yeah, I do agree with everything you just said, Chronicler. We'll see if T1 can manage it, or will D+ bring us to a later stage of the game as we hop into the Rift for game number 1. D+ Kia, Hana, 둘, 셋. D+ Kia, fighting. Yes. T1, Hana, 둘, 셋.
T1, fighting!
Yeah.
T1,
I really don't.
fighting!
I followed you, but I have no idea what I was looking for.
Right when I started speaking, I was like, well, I shouldn't do the same thing. But I thought
Não sei pra quem a gente torce aqui, né, mano?
Like,
Sabe qual que é o problema? Eu vou te falar. Eu vou falar pra vocês e depois vocês vão falar. Caraca, Dudão, você entende muito. O Honor vai apagar a luz de Nocturne, o Zeus vai pegar um flanco de Aatrox e vai ganhar o jogo V9, tá? Um V9.
Is there any anime character that jumps out at you that's like Lucian?
Like in terms of vibe?
Yeah, and like
nothing I can come up with right now.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm trying to think. It's hard to make the direct one-to-one comparison. I think in a lot of cases. It's more so skin.
Nossa, foda essa lane aí do bot, mano. Eles vão sofrer muito, velho. Nossa, eles vão sofrer muito. Dragão e milho contra Nami e Lúcia, mano. Nossa, o Quer vai maltratar os caras no bot hoje, velho.
I'm a big hobbyist. You know, I've seen a lot. I like a lot, but I'm not nearly as committed. Haven't even seen the new Demon Slayer movie. Oh, wow, it's great. I know.
Unbelievable.
I know.
And you call yourself a weeby friend.
I know. Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing.
O Aatrox do Zeus tá 11-0.
I tried to get.
Nossa, ele é muito... Mano, ele é apelão, velho. Ele é apelão de Aatrox, mano. Ele é insano, insano, insano. Pra mim, o melhor Aatrox do mundo hoje é o dele.
That was good. The one thing I don't really like, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't really like about Lucian in general, but especially for T1, it forces Carrier to just...
Guys, só atualizando vocês lá. RNG ganhou o jogo, tá? Ganhou o jogo não, né? Mas tá ganhando. Fez o Baron.
Enchantress, you can land bubbles, you can change games with your tidal wave, but it's not necessarily a hugely skill-oriented pick that can really just allow Carrier to...
Ele errou a catapa? Acho que ele errou a catapa, meu Deus.
I've been a little bit sad to watch Carrier just playing the Nami every game.
Ah, tá de boa bot pro dragão. O dragão tá farmando debaixo da torre, tá suave. Nossa, achei que ia ser bem pior essa lane. Só perdeu o plate cedo.
Carrier just got that plate solo.
That's not ideal.
Fed Nami. Okay, he's
No.
like, I hear you, Valdez. I'm
No.
gonna carry this game.
No, not Fat Nami, Veldis, no.
Why
Need
not?
Fat Lucian. Wow. Okay, he took the second tower shot as well. I'm like, you can take the one tower shot and feel great about the trade, but I would have much rather he just proxied. Might be looking for a proxy on the follow-up wave, but the Renekton buffs, I think, have made him definitely much more of a menace in lane, as we have already mentioned on the cast many times. He also remains in powers aiming. That's I don't know. That's like the third lost hit. I gotta be careful with those, especially a Smolder, because of how, you know, the sooner you get to your stacks, it works exponentially. So
Lane fez bem suave, ninguém atrás.
extra power, but
Pouco de pressão ali do Lucian, um pouco de pressão do Renekton, normal.
yeah, the only
Esse jogo vai ser muito definido nas teamfights, mano.
And you don't get the full dopamine that you still get with Aatrox. Where like you go in and then you just your Q, which it doesn't feel the same.
Vamos ver se esse Maokai consegue influenciar a lane do top. Olha o Showmaker. Showmaker dando gap, tá? Campeão mundial, os dois são.
Lucid considering coming on in, but there's a ward and he will be spotted out.
Quem tem mais tem 4, né? Não tem que fazer, mano. 4 é muito caro. 4 vezes campeão mundial, mano. Que bizarro. Caralho, mano. Não tem que fazer, mano. O velhaco é insano.
And that should allow Lucid to pick up as the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble is going to land. Aiming, though, does get a heal from Kellen, a shield, and all the wonderful...
É... Tá começando a ficar chato. Meu Deus, o dragão tá de Doran Shield, agora que eu vi. Ah, mano, que isso, mano. Caraca, Caçante tava ban?
Never gonna work. No. They are gonna still fear and just maybe try to help him get out of lane. There's no seismic shove. The second Faker misses seismic shove, the gank is never gonna work.
Eu sou fã do Showmaker, mano. Eu acho o Showmaker insano, mano. Sério mesmo.
Karma has a speed up with her Spire, which allows her
Insane, insane. Insane montages.
Tier 2 boots first, which is very good against Talia.
So dodges the gank, Showmaker absorbs the pressure, Oni then tries to force the play anyway, doesn't end up working out. They will get the dragon for this, which testament...
Aqui é batalha de, mano, batalha de Gold, velho, no mid, mano.
Triple blades, they got a proxy off, so Kingen gets a free back, and they bullied Zeus off the wave, as well as forced his TP. So a lot of this, I think, does show, really is just Showmaker getting a great job done early in the lane.
Força não? Beleza, pô. Tem algum lunático que não acha o Showmaker insano?
And then also Kingen in the 1v1 actually doing a really good job. The reason why Zeus was already low was due to his aggressive trades, so Lucid just has to show his face. In the early game for DK, if they can generate a...
Sabem de nada do League, mano.
I don't know, like 2,000 gold towards topside. That can be enough to get you to the point where Smolder can win you the game. That by itself is not enough. You still need to keep him safe from a decent amount of threat on the enemy team. But a single Drake and a topside lead, you know, have King and roam over for like the third Drake fight.
Então toma do dragão. Quantos stacks tem o dragão? Não fala, né, mano? Caraca, ô, na moral, petição aí pra a LCK botar uma HUD diferente, velho.
Just has to be sad. Yeah. I think all things considered, DK should be very happy with the way this early game is going. Yeah. Singular Mountain Drake going to T1 is like, whatever. Based on the comp, the only good thing is, of course, you're stacking the Drakes against the Smolder, which you would like to pick up the Soul as early as possible into the Smolder. So, of course, they do want to get this objective anyway. We do have a little bit of a fight here. It is 3v2, but Smolder is not a champion, so...
Ah, que isso?
And DK decide, yeah, we will listen and not fight.
They're really playing it safe.
Yeah, gonna force the World Ender. Definitely a nice amount of trading going in favor of Kingen in this one, but now Aatrox is gonna hit that Q3.
Nossa, ele deu o Q sem estar estacado, velho.
Nicely done by Zeus, but still, Kingen not gonna feel too sad. Doesn't actually get his crash. Not sure if he can pick up maybe a plan. That was DK Could have gone for a play there, but Owner, I think, was just about to hit 6. As, man, this mid lane, Showmaker's absolutely dunking on Faker. This pressure, really big.
It's just so hard to play into the Karma as Talia. Like, you can never hit seismic shove. If the Karma knows what they're doing, and they can just sprint at you, and you don't really do anything except throw rocks at them that they shield, and then it's a done deal from there.
Talia's early damage just also isn't that good.
Yeah.
Obviously, way back when they changed her, took a lot of damage out of her.
Nocturne não ultou ainda. Será que ele mata top? Carinha, hein? Ai! Tá de boa, tá de boa. Eles viram? O Oner aqui morre. O Oner aqui morre. Toma 2v2. Ai, ai, ai. Guys, temos um jogo, porra. Lembrando, não estou torcendo nem para T1 e nem para DK. Eu só queria que tivesse um jogo e teremos um jogo. Porra, vambora, mano. Imagina se tivesse. Eu não tô, eu juro, eu não tô. Só que eu achei que ia ser 2-0 Stomp, né? Tava querendo vender o peixe aqui que ia ser disputado, mas eu não achei que ia ser disputado, não. Só que parece que a DK vai vir pra jogo, mano. Pior que, mano, tem um casinho aí de paternidade, não? Kingen com Zeus, não? Tem esse caso de Kingen com Zeus. Caralho, eu não tinha pensado nisso. Pô, tem, galera, tem. Não tem como falar que não tem. Nossa, ele tinha W, mano. Eu falei que não precisava de ser... Mano, eu achei que ia vir caso de paternidade, mano. Tá perigoso, tá perigoso. Morreu. Morreu, paternidade, paternidade. Meu Deus, é paternidade. Meu Deus, é paternidade. Pode fazer DNA. Pode fazer teste de DNA. É fiote. É fiote, guys, é fiote. Pede benção. Meu Deus, mano. Pelo menos, o bot tá ganhando e estão fazendo o Drake cedo. Pro Smolder não escalar. Legal. Nossa, só acho que ele limpou rápido, tá? Porque ele ia tomar dive. And yeah, there is a nice amount of poke with Karma and Smolder. Sure, that is not the soul you were hoping for as T1. Try to snowball this into a bit more. Because now you're behind, and yeah, you've got a bunch of Drakes, but they're not going to be extremely useful in this one. As Showmaker looking for the play is going to force the flash out. Ele morre? Morreu, morreu, morreu. Legal, 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 legal. Temos um Ruego. Temos um noruego. Meu Deus. Caralho. É o combo do... Achei que era fast combo ali do... Do Maokai. Tem fast larvas, mano. Saraba! Ir e vir! Smolder tem 70 stacks, mano. Nossa, tá magrinho, magrinho. Magrinho, magrinho.
Faker does have to flash. If there's any reinforcements here, that might be enough. But with Lucid on the grubs, never gonna end up working out. Is aiming at these type of fights. As long as he doesn't die, he is thriving.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that I would be worried about if I was DK. I don't think that Ocean Soul is nearly as strong as a lot of the other options, but you do want to make sure Smolder can still actually burn down people.
Yeah.
So we will see. I imagine DK is just gonna find a way to get this crocodile towards the...
O jogo é gravado? Não, galera. Está sendo ao vivo. Ao vivo, sem torcida.
Yeah, that really says it all.
Zeus still does not have his first item. He's just been put so far behind. And DK did such a great job, and Zeus was not able to match in this lane.
What about free people?
I mean, Carrier does have tidal wave.
Yeah, I feel like it
Maybe?
could backfire.
Yeah.
Herald fight coming up. Faker's gonna get first turbo, though. Any STP, so he can still join this. It's a big gold influx for T1.
Ele tá sem torcida? Porque eles estavam tendo muito problema com a...
Though, because they do have to.
Eles estavam tendo muito problema com ataques, né, de internet.
And
E aí eu não sei o que, que a torcida tem a ver. Ah, eles tiraram.
TP. And
Ou vai dar birimbola aqui, hein?
challenge this. Kingen is coming over. He is the raid boss.
Nossa, mas essa fight... Não sei se essa fight é boa não, mano.
Pretty much for free. Now we get the engage coming on in, and a nice blast going to try to get Showmaker into a rough spot, but he's dodging everything. Can he dodge everything forever? No, he cannot.
Legal.
Finally, they do take him down, and at least they do get that killed. So actually, T1 moving ahead in terms of the gold lead.
Big win there for T1 as the wave attempt to save, but there was another wave coming in, so I don't know about that one. They get the Herald, but they do have to really pay for it. I think there is the power of paranoia, because with full vision, we knew DK could have probably tried to turn around that fight, but...
Cara, será que a D&D, mano, machucou tanto a T1 que eles estão tiltados, mano? Não tiltados a ponto de não jogar bem, mas tipo de jogar pior. Porque, pô, Zeus tá esquisito.
Unfortunately, Showmaker, even though he stalls for a decent amount of time, Zeus still finds him. There you see, like, the health bars are full. They could have gone in, but they don't really know the landscape of the fight, so they opt not to run the risk. And now the gold lead is there for T1. But this is where we go, is it enough? Because Smolder, as we all know, can basically be non-existent, and as long as it's 225, you can win the game. And he Knight's Vow on top of him as well, as shouldn't come as a surprise. Good bye.
Tem stacks, tem o Smolder. Cara, tá baixo, tá bem ruim. Só que daqui pra frente ele estaca bem mais rápido. Porque ele já tem bastante CDR. Mas eu acho que não dá tempo, tá? Eu acho que não dá tempo. Meu Deus, ele deu flash W no cara que tem cleanse? Ah, que isso, meu mano Lucid. Que isso, pô. Que isso, mano. Jogador... É, Marujo de primeira viagem? Não é o Lucid, né? É o Chaped, mano. Timaram errado, é? Se pá, timaram errado.
Oh, they're gonna commit to this. They really want this.
Caralho. Mandou muito, tá? Fala do Chaped. Mano, ele comprou muito tempo pro Smolder destacar.
If they get a mid lane turret for this, there would still be a colossal win as aiming is just gonna walk up the wall.
Wall comes in, and yes, they are gonna catch aiming, but this is under a turret, so...
With Milio. He does have to use his...
Eles aqui vão querer fazer um...
They got the barrier.
Yeah.
Still not a good play.
No, it wasn't. They might trade top side turret for bot side.
Esse Renekton tocando na wave do bot lá, estranho, hein, mano? Renekton tem vários esmilinguidos. Quer é Gold. Quer é Gold. Meu Deus, todo mundo flechou pra frente. Guys.
But that's not a flash, as you mentioned. Big shield's coming out, but he will die eventually. Question is, yep, Showmaker will be given the shutdown, and this is a massive swing in favor of DK. They should be able to take down this bottom turret, too.
Ooh, Lucid. Is he going to get taken down here? Guma ends up going for the brush instead, so Lucid should be fine. Big thing here is that Zeus did end up picking up a topside turret. But then on the
Eu não queria falar.
So a lot of it is invested, but second item now done. I wouldn't be surprised if DK are really going
Eu não queria falar. Tá? Eu não gosto de ser o cara que traz a informação. Mas a T1 vai perder esse jogo? A T1 vai perder esse jogo.
But if you do that, you should also be very aware that all that DK want to do is fight. Like 100%. Like they invest their TP, they can't save top, so they're going to hard force a fight. Yeah. And T1 just doesn't seem to be ready for it.
O Gumayushi não tem esse Lucian.
Ends up having to pay with some of their lives, and now I think aiming sitting at like 135. Once you pass the 125 threshold, it's gonna rapidly.
Dragão tem quanto? 140 stacks. Oh meu Deus.
Very obviously trying to feed him as many stacks as possible. Like they rotated him over as early as they possibly could. The Emilio got him through lane, and the Emilio has been very close.
Ele tem sim. Tem, eu vi na última série contra a Jinji. Jogou 2 jogos de Lucian. Jogou tão benzinho.
Just abandoned shit, man.
No. It was a bait. No, it was a misclick. He of all the people.
400 IQ baited out the Talia wall.
Cara, até faz sentido, né, mano? Faz sentido, porque ele ia bater na parede da Thalia, mas... Estranho, né? Ele ia pro bot? É, poderia ir pro bot. Mas não tem torre bot, ele vai onde? Pra T2?
The Emilio has been so huge in this game so far. Kept King alive in that last play, has kept aiming out of trouble the entire game, which is not always easy, to be honest. And he also went for the Dream, I always call it the bubble, support item. Dreammaker and Redemption, so he's going to be keeping him alive quite a lot here.
Dudão, por que static no Lucian? Cara, eu acho, né, não tenho certeza, que é porque o item tá muito barato e aí você spike'a muito cedo. Você fecha static e canhão logo de início de jogo, enquanto o outro AD só tem um item. E aí você começa a snowballar, né? O problema é que se aí não tá snowballando muito, não.
Multiple double kills bot, but against DK's level bot lane, I don't think you should be expected to get it. But they got like 3-4 plates, perma prio, were able to stack 2 dragons, but it was the top side of the map where the troubles really...
And unfortunately they're stuck playing Lucian the whole game.
That is, yeah.
The biggest
Primeiro jogo da T1? É, esse aqui é o primeiro jogo da T1. De hoje, né, óbvio.
The real issue versus a smolder that now has his Shojin done as well.
Mano, eu acho que a comp da DK dá outscale massivo. Dá outscale na jungle, dá outscale... Acho que até no mid, mano, dá outscale, mano. Apesar de não escalar muito, acho que Thalia também não escala muito não, velho. Agora, no bot dá muito outscale.
They can?
Yeah, I mean, the Drakes will be valuable, always. You know, I was just saying before that...
Vou falar pra vocês. Espero que a T1... Eita. Nossa, que flash feio, mano. Espero que a T1 pegue esse Drake. Pega, T1, pega esse Drake. Aqui que vou, DK. Adúlteros. Nossa, o Lucy já morreu, mano. Ou não.
Hysterics! What are we doing going in? Because I was just about to say is, Guma going aggressive. He has to. Like, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They have to get this Drake fight.
Vai ser chamado de maluco. Eu vou ser chamado de maluco.
Yeah, so basically with Maokai, your engage just isn't that good. Like, your counter engage is great, but trying to force plays like that, you're not playing Rel. Take a little bit easy.
Maybe he thought he was playing Rel.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been playing like it. Like with Maokai, you just can't really make the plays the way.
O Faker vai ter que jogar muito aqui, mano. Foda que o Faker não tem setup, mano. Eu falei, galera. O setup vai fazer diferença.
Hit it. Like look at the way that the poke is being invalidated.
Man.
Whereas the poke from DK. Whew, Horizon focus coming up big there.
Yeah.
That's second Drake going over.
And the more you get these Ocean Drakes, the more the poke wars will go in favor of DK. They were already winning them, and they're going to have 2 Ocean Drakes. They're denying T1 a soul, and they're scaling their Smolder for free. Aiming is 2-0, and he's almost at 225 in this game. Feels like DK are sitting pretty.
Qual o terceiro item do Smolder? Canhão. Normalmente é canhão.
And get your Smolder ahead. And also the
Guys, acabou o jogo, tá?
Such a massive lead in the top lane.
Acabou o jogo. Repito, acabou o jogo. DK já ganhou.
Positions, if you have like Vi Nautilus, where I'm like, you can just find the one angle and find the backline and blow up this Smolder, but I don't think they're that good at doing this. The ult from Lucid keeps away Guma, and then they go in.
Kingdom's like baiting them. He's like, please go on me.
Yeah, because he has Hysterics. He's a fed
Não tem zica, guys. Não tem zica. Não tem zica. É impossível a DK perder.
You just don't. So you don't get to burst through him. It's 2 AD champs jumping on him with his steel caps done as well. So Kingdom's like, yeah, come at me. Now 2 Drakes available here. 2-13. It's not quite.
Olha o dano do Smolder, guys. Quase 3 itens já.
Like you're going to get an incredible amount of value out of that. Healing reduction as well for Carrier, but I don't know if that's enough.
Nossa, que dano é esse?
As much as you want, but the comp diff might be a bit too big. As Lucid
zoning all. Zone them away from the middle there.
O dragão estacou, guys.
That much benefit without Veldes.
Oh, I thought you already put the POG vote in the jungle box already. No.
You know that you're joking, okay?
Yeah, and I mean DK.
Por que o Faker tá jogando skill no vento toda hora, mano?
That's all they need to do, right?
They're just sitting, you know the meat
sitting there
format?
menacingly.
Or like
Foi isso.
Zelda, it's just a headshot of you saying, they're sitting around, and that is fine.
Que build é essa do Lucian? Cara, até faz sentido, considerando que tem Karma que dá muito shield, Milho que dá muito shield, Barrier do Smolder. Faz sentido, cara. Se é bom ou não, eu não sei. Tem que fazer a matemática. Mas faz sentido. O dragão estacou, guys. Que acabou.
DK's natural talent for not winning games from this position. They do really have shown us that they have the capability, but I love the position that they're in this game. I think it's really hard for T1 to reliably get backline access, and if they don't, I think aiming is just going to start 1v9ing these team fights with a comp that's completely built around them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you might look at the gold and say, well, T1 are ahead. Like, doesn't that mean something? I would say that they just don't use the gold as well, especially as the game goes along. Like, yeah.
O executado do Smolder é no quê? É no quê, guys?
And he can burst people down, especially Lucid out of position. These are the picks you're going to be looking for if you are T1. As Lucid's going in.
ZK.
Very difficult to
ZK aqui é Baron.
take him out, and that might just be Baron.
ZK aqui é Baron.
Let's see if they want to start it up.
Oh, really rough there by Lucid. If he flashes over the wall immediately, then maybe they're able to get
Eu ziquei e aqui é Baron.
He ends up going down. That's no smite. This might have been the turn that T1 were looking for.
Looks like they might want to fight this one, DK. They're going to throw in Mom just to poke a bit. But yeah, this should be a free Baron over to their side. And now DK a bit out.
Tem para atrás, tem para atrás.
Behind.
Mas não tem como fightar, não tem como fightar.
Nice amount of poke damage is coming out from the side of DK, and T1 just want to turn tail.
Can they find Faker? They don't want to risk it. Instead, just trying to get Prio here in mid.
Imagine if they had a Maokai.
Yeah, that would have been very free. Really big mistake by Lucid there, especially with the flash still available. Held onto that, I think, for way too long. Great catch, though, from T1, looking aggressively for this play. And that might be enough, because if they do retain the gold lead...
Meu Deus do céu. Ziquei muito. O cara não flechou só porque eu ziquei, mano.
Flash away, and then he does flash. And he flashes towards Renekton TPing, but just...
O cara não flechou só porque eu ziquei.
You've been so liberal with your use of flash.
Yeah.
Just do it there as well.
Definitely a bit rough Certainly the Maokai is a big part of this composition, and they're going to need him when these fights do get a bit more spicy. As now he is back on the Rift, and with a Drake coming up in 20 seconds, we'll be curious to see if DK do want to fight over this.
Guys, vou falar pra vocês, não mudou nada esse Baron. Nada.
To make it a bit more difficult.
Faker looking for a wall angle here.
Não mudou nada.
Off on a flanking position. Zeus also has found his way back into the game, by the way. We haven't talked about it in a while, but he's level 16. Think now sitting on at least 2, possibly 3 items as the ult. Yeah.
Talvez eu tenha zicado um pouco.
Well, he disengaged from them. And Zeus does have a nice angle, but they spot him. They know he's
Nossa, eles
there.
estão mal posicionados, hein, mano.
Here comes the tidal wave. Cat's killing. A nice amount of burst damage does come out from Guma. As now trying to go on the chase. Zeus still on a nice angle here, but not quite able to get over the wall.
Tá ruim, hein, mano.
He's just going to retreat. Very tense moment, a pretty close fight at this point as Guma trying to make himself.
Seu dragãozinho cuspindo.
At this point in the game before it goes too much farther, aiming is going to get bubbled. As he does have that very aggressive positioning. Here comes Mom as they have the engage from behind onto
O King, hein? O King, hein?
As down will go King into the flash forward from Zeus. It's going to be enough. They take away aiming as he just gets wombo combo down. Yes, DK will get the dragon, but they are getting absolutely swept off the map here as it will be a clean ace in favor of T1 on the dragon fight.
Do not worry, says T1. All we need is just one angle, one moment of weakness, and that moment of weakness DK did give them. It starts with the Baron, but that I think they could have come back from. Now, it's still relatively early into the game. I don't know if the death timers are going to be, I think aiming should be up, so at the very least, they will be able to hold on to the Nexus. But still, now the gold lead for T1, ballooned off of the face of planet Earth. They're up in the stratosphere, Valdez.
Talvez eu tenha zicado.
Not going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, they were staking their claim on that one, and they had already taken so much damage.
Talvez eu tenha zicado.
And the fact, it's going to get split up here, so Kingan's going to go into the back line as Zeus does. But Kingan is the one
Talvez eu tenha zicado um pouco.
Trying to move forward, gets hit. The thing is, though,
Não muito.
they actually turned the corner because they know Zeus is there. They were able, and then here aiming.
O Zeus. Caraca, o Zeus jogou muito essa fight, tá?
Zeus on top of him, lethality Aatrox. The man was scaling all along, and
I'd say don't run at the Aatrox with flash. That would be. He said, "This is good." Smolder low, and really that was it. I mean, got him as well.
Ele é bom de Atrox, velho.
If DK were able to
Ele é clean, ele é...
front line and not get Aatroxed in the face, they might have been okay. But the second that aiming gets engaged upon the fight is just done.
Talvez eu tenha zicado.
You can see that massive drop in their
Talvez eu tenha zicado.
overtime graph.
Culpa não é minha.
yeah, there are a couple of key problems there. Obviously, first and foremost, when you pick Maokai in a composition like this, you gotta stop using his ultimate as an engaged. It just doesn't work. Like every single time, because they have Nami, you have so much speed, they have the spell shield, like you're just never ever gonna hit someone. And then secondly, you're always gonna have to be on the front if you are playing smaller, because you want to try and get as many Qs off as possible.
10k gold de lead.
I feel like we should stop.
Lucian tamanho de
Look at lethality Aatrox.
trator.
He's low. No, he's not. It's not real.
It is not real. That is true. D+, they're not out of the game just yet, but T1, they have total control over this Baron pit, and I think that if they can secure a second Baron, it might just be over, even with the amount of disengage that DK have in their comp, because eventually you just get bowled over by the huge amount of money.
E digo mais, tá? E digo mais. Não mudou nada. Não mudou nada.
It's just having a pure large amount of dollars in your wallet.
Yeah, and right now, T1 obviously have that prerequisite amount of gold. I don't know if there's an opportunity for DK to really try and contest for this Baron.
Não mudou nada. Não mudou nada.
Are maybe thinking about it. We're seeing the pings. Still 15 seconds, and they do have smaller, so should be able to clear this wave relatively easily.
Não mudou nada. O dragão vai cuspir. E tenho dito, tá?
Kind of trip over their own shoelaces a bit.
Because and credit where credit is due, we've seen T1 get these type of miracle team fights, but I think generally the type of composition does.
Ah, dudes, mas tá 2 levels na jungle. Mudou nada.
As a building type of style. This one.
Guys, que dano foi esse, meu Deus?
Working for sure as Baron gets started up here.
Yeah, Guma is the one that's trying to push everybody away, and he does have an insane amount of damage. Look at Lucid's health bar. He's got 2 armor items as well. Doesn't seem to matter as Nature's Grasp comes in and they kind of laugh at them.
Tá, talvez tenha mudado um pouco, uma coisa aqui, uma coisa ali. Mas tanto assim, talvez não.
Now they're just running away. Free Baron here for the side of T1. DK could do nothing about that.
Lucid, only level 13. He is so weak, so Guma just stretched through him. Also,
É isso, guys, a base.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds, guys.
Ei!
The Ocean Soul doesn't...
That's a Nexus trade. That's Nexus.
Guys,
If it was 15 seconds earlier, that would have worked. Wait, they don't know though. Nah, it doesn't matter. Like they could have probably looked for the end there, especially with Baron.
Well,
e eles vão fightar, tá? E eles vão fightar.
Whatever angle I can to give
Glass
the benefit
half
of the doubt.
full. That's
Yeah.
my co-caster.
Just trying to be as positive, you know, as Wolf has said many times this year. If you don't have anything nice to say, just say something else.
É agora. É tudo ou nada.
Yeah, now trying to stake their claim on this Ocean.
O Smolder vai carregar, ele vai chocar o mundo. Acabou.
They could get it.
Tá muito low já.
The value, Veldas. The shielding that's getting reduced. I think they have 2 as well. If I saw correctly, I think Zeus also built 1. They built full lethality, right? So that means he's not tanky, right?
Alright, getting in on the Faker, the engage with the W comes out once again, but Ingo's owner trying to zone away, and now Lucid is getting chunked out down.
Nossa!
King and Lucid are all alone as the rest of them got pushed away by owner. It was surprising.
Guys, tem que matar o Nock, hein?
So much time he's gonna flash away, and there is the massive damage coming out from Zeus and Faker into that back line. And that should do it, guys. T1, they find
Talvez eu tenha zicado uma coisa ou outra.
to the top lane, and this game will end.
Talvez eu tenha zicado uma coisa ou outra.
All according to plan for T1, not even a moment of worry. There, Veldas. What did we learn? I don't know.
Uma coisinha aqui, uma coisinha ali. Talvez.
Waiting, ready to tell us what transpired in this one.
Yeah. Not the cleanest game of League of Legends. Guma did look quite
Talvez.
fair.
Tenho que admitir.
Work for itself. And you know what? I mean, if you're never really going to be punished, and you can get the angles, the burst damage down from the Lucian, even in the late game, can get some work done. And DK were just not really able to respond to it. As Lucid, I don't know what the idea was. Maybe someone on the team was telling them to go in.
E lembrando mais uma vez, tudo que eu falei nessa live, você pode considerar, mas o que você mais tem que considerar é, eu falei no início do jogo, o Honor ia apagar a luz e o Zeus ia chocar o mundo. Não falei?
Yeah.
Because from the point where he got his stacks, like the game looked like it was fine, and then it was done.
It was one of those games that it felt like if you just sat back, eventually DK would win it. But then T1 were like, nah. And DK were like, okay. You know, like it just...
Não, agora não, né? Agora não falei. Legal.
And eventually T1...
Legal, da hora, né? Tirando meu mérito, né, rapaziada? Tirando meu mérito.